Hello everyone, it's Doom here, once again playing Dark Souls. Now today this is probably going to be a short mini episode, if you will, where we will take down the Hydra and begin the first part of, well, you could do this in the vanilla game. However, if you have the DLC or the Prepare to Die edition as I do, this is also going to show the first step of unlocking said DLC. Now the reason I am here and the reason I've become a pyromancer was in order to grind slimes. However, I've already done that off screen, which is why I have a plus 10 Zweihander, which is the highest you can get as of this point. I think you could technically get, like, plus... How many Titanite chunks do we have? We have 3. I think that'd be enough for 1 or 2 upgrades. It almost certainly is enough for 2 upgrades, actually. So I think you could have technically had a higher one, but you'd require to kill, like, kind of a nice guy, so... I have no intention of using my pyromancy for actual combat. It won't be as useful as a Zweihander. Anyhow, let's get to fighting the Hydra. The first part of this is probably the most annoying, especially if you don't have the... because the boss tends to fire water at you. That's very pressurized. And if you don't have the rest of that ring, it can get quite problematic, as the water will continue being a threat. However, generally if you run forward, I found that you will not be hit by the water too hard. And once you hear the water isn't too much of a threat. Just be warned that there is a cliff in front of the boss, and that it is very easy, if you have not noticed it, to fall to your death. Yeah. If you're prepared, the Hydra is really not all that bad. Rusted iron ring, so you don't slow down. A good shield, so you don't have to worry about getting hit by the Hydra heads. And a good weapon to cut their heads is down in a single strike. And a bit of patience. Especially if you're not fully equipped, you're going to need a lot of patience. Especially since... a lot of magic, if you're not specializing it, in my experience, won't hit it, and our archery tends not to do much damage. I have no idea where the heads are. At the very least, that explains where all the heads went. Come on. Where the hell are they? Oh, did they fire water again? Okay. Die! Behold the power of the plus 10 Zweihander. Mini boss. You get a Dragon Scale and the Dust Crown Ring. You can also go up this ladder in order to reach the second part of Darkwood Forest. This can also be done if you bought the Crest of Artorias from Andre, which was like 20,000 souls, I believe, and put it near the put it in the door near the first bonfire. This will allow you to get to Sif, who is a boss. That is required. If I recall correctly, and I'm fairly certain I am, Sif is not too bad. He's sort of a breather boss, if anything. And if you go over here, there's the Knight set, which we had at the start of the game. And we currently have the Elite Knight set, so... yeah. And yeah, there is one final thing, and it's the actual first step. By the way, the Dust Crown Ring halves your health, but it grants you extra sorcery castings. The last part of the DLC is that after you kill the Hydra, you want to go over to this area, and then you want to save and quit, or just quit game technically, because the game autosaves after every action. Okay, my other files. And there is magically a new golem. This one is a golden golem, and it's sort of a mini boss, albeit I don't think it's actually stronger than the normal golems. It may have more health, but I am almost certain it does the same amount of damage. I say almost because I'm not actually certain. I haven't seen the numbers, but I have never felt like it did more or less damage than the other golems. And our Zweihander is ridiculously overpowered, and we're going to need it for Blighttown. And we meet a new character.
So, 'tis thou who rescueth me. Most gracious, I am deeply obliged. I am Dusk of Ulyssil. I cometh from an age long before thine. I cannot stay here for long. So, before I disappear, allow me to ask one thing. My home, Ulyssil, is the home of ancient sorceries. My hope is to pass this profound knowledge to thee with thine approval. Would this be of assistance to thee?
It's automatically put to yes, and by the way, if you say no, you lock yourself out of the DLC and a pretty nice utility sorceries and a pretty neato catalyst, which I can't really use since I don't intend to use magic for this playthrough. That doesn't require very much intelligence, if I recall correctly. So we're going to say yes, because we are going to do the DLC at one point.
My heartfelt thanks. I am pleased beyond words. Then I shout, engrave my signature. If thou art in need, pray summon me from my signature. It seems that my time is done. May the great flames guide thee.
I actually do not remember where or what she sells exactly, so I'm going to go over and check. And I guess it'll pad the length of the video, because I'm not adding more to this, and I am not going through Blighttown. You cannot make me. Not until I am no longer sleep deprived. Because you know, Blighttown is annoying. And I think I said this before, and I say it again. Blighttown, while sleep deprived, is not fun. And I believe her summon sign should be over here somewhere. I think we need to quit game again. So it loads. Yay, my other files. And okay, oh, here it is. I thought it was over here, but I guess I was a bit off. And there she is.
I am Dusk of Ulyssil. It is an honor to see thee again. I shall follow thine wishes.
You can learn the proper bow gesture. You can purchase Hidden Body. Ancient sorcerer, the lost land in a Saltoon's body nearly invisible. Although perfect invisible is unintuitively due to the risk of dissipation, guessing you'd only stand still for a moment to blend into a environment with astounding camouflage. Cast light. Cast a bright light upon surroundings. If you intend to go into the Tomb of the Giants or to the land of Nido in order to get the coveted silver serpent ring and the few other materials that are here, this is very helpful if you do not want to use either the skull lantern or do not have yet the sunlight maggot. The repair is basically just applying a repair on active. It's what it says on the tin can, okay? And then Chameleon allows you to better camouflage in your surroundings. So, if you like being human but don't like being invaded, I guess you can use this with a bit of intelligence. For her, get it because you need intelligence to cast it. To hide yourself. And you can use a hidden weapon to just... I don't think this is helpful at all. Just flat out. Like, nobody fights with their fists in PvP. And PvE enemies don't care if you're fighting with your fist or something else. And then here's the formed within. Only has 19. That's odd. It should have a fairly high-ish one that but it just doesn't scale with intelligence. I'm confused. Well, whatever. And I don't think she has actually anything interesting to say.
If thou art in need, pray summon me again. I wish to be of assistance. May the flames guide thee.
And as another side note, if you quit and load again, or maybe you have to exit the area, and go back to the cave with the crystal golem, you should be able to find Dusk's clothing. You know, in case you want to cosplay, and not be creepy. Anyhow, I think everyone should have a nice day, for Doom is very tired and probably should go to sleep. Sadly, there's an infestation. Oh well, good morning.